Good morning, everyone. Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and this week's Crochet Along is going to be just a little bit different. We're going to step back to the basics, and I'm going to just do a swatch of some basic stitches, and then I'll tell you what I did to add to our Crochet Along project, and I'll show you the Crochet Along project with the stitches that we're going to do. What I want to start with is basic stitches, and we're going to just do 2 rows of single crochet, 2 rows of a half double crochet, 2 rows of a double crochet, and 2 rows of a triple crochet. Just basic stitches, okay? And Callie has joined us. You can tell she's sitting there. For some reason, she is obsessed with YouTube as much as I am. So let's start by making a chain of 12. What does that mean? That means we're going to literally make what looks like a chain with 12 stitches. So you have to make a slip knot. So if you put this over your finger, this is my left hand, this is my right hand. It looks different on the screen, but that's okay. So put your loop over around your finger so it's crossed right here. Take your hook, insert it under that loop that's around your finger. Might take a little finesse. Grab the thread that's over the top and pull it through, and then pull up, and you have a slip knot. That is your first chain. So then you're going to say, actually, that's the loop to get you started. Go 1. So what we're doing is we're calling it, this is called yowing. When a pattern says you're yowing, you're grabbing the thread and you're pulling it up around your hook, and then you pull it through. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now if you look at it, you see it looks like a chain. And if you want to verify, good morning. If you want to verify that you've got the right number, just count the loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 12 on 12 that run behind, okay? 12 base stitches. So now what you want to do to start your single crochet row, I'm going to get some thread out because it works better if you draw some thread from your ball or skein. You always want to have a turning chain. So you add 1 more, so that makes 13. What we're going to do is you'll see now there's 13 loops down. You're not going to go into, so let me get this so you guys can see. See the loops? You're not going to go into the one right by the hook. Skip that and go into the first hook or first loop past this one. So basically the second one. Okay, you're going to work in that second one. What you do is you insert your hook into that loop. Can you see where I've inserted it in? Then you're going to yow or draw up. So pull it in. Okay, so now I have 2 on there. And in single crochet, you just yow again and draw through both loops. You've made 1 stitch. So that's 1 single crochet. So we go into the next loop down the chain. Insert your hook into the top part of that loop. Draw up. You have 2 loops on the hook, then draw through both loops. Okay? So it's the same thing all the way down until you have 12 single crochets. And I'm just going to keep working it. And if you need me to slow down in the replay, you can make me go slower. I almost feel like we need to put something behind this so you can see. Let me get a different piece of a colored paper or something. Something that won't be too obnoxious. I just want it to be visible. I think I think that'll help some. Putting a little, ooh, I bumped y'all. I'm trying to work at a funny angle too. So bear with me while I figure this out. Okay. All right. So you just keep working your way until you run out of loops, and you can see where the loops are on your chain. You want to work into the next loop, draw up, and pull back. And for anybody that already knows all of this, this is probably going to be boring. But for those that are trying to learn, I wanted to do a video. And I'm sorry I'm shaking. I had a little bit of a scare this morning. Somebody was going and opening and closing our car doors this morning. So I need to be more diligent about locking the cars and trucks up at night. And I called and told the police about it. I said, I don't really need a report. I just wanted you guys to know so you could add it, maybe a drive-through more often in the neighborhood. That would be awesome. Because I really didn't want to stand in the cold, and I didn't want him to stand in the cold. All right, all the way until you get to your last. The last one is always a little hard to see, but there's still a loop there, so you want to work it. All right, so now you should have 12 single crochets. All right, so that's what a single crochet looks like. If we set it down, you can see there's like little V's. All right, so and then if you turn it, it looks like a wall this way. And you can see the loops. You see all the loops? If you count those, start up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 single crochets, right? All right, we're going to do one more row of single crochets just so that you can see what it looks like on. I almost feel like I need to go ahead and leave the automatic focus on because this is just not focusing well. So those that have trouble with autofocus, I am turning it back on so that the next part is more visible. We'll see if this will work. So when you turn, you have to do a turning chain. And all that means is drawing up your thread and pulling it through. So it looks like you are going to be too far out, but then you turn your work so it's going in the opposite direction. And we're going to work the same as we did in the chain into the second stitch from the hook. So you skip this one that's kind of floating off. That's just your turning chain. The working loop is on the hook. And we're going to work through the top of the single crochet. And when you work through it, you go under both sides of there. So you see now it's got both sides of that stitch. We've gone under both of the sides. There are techniques where you only work in one or the other of the loops. That's why I'm saying in standard regular crochet, you're going under both of them. All right, so now we're going to just go and we're going to draw up, pull through all the way across until we have 12 more single crochets. And when you are checking your, what do they call it? Where you check the stitches. When you work up a little 4x4 square, they tell you how many stitches by how many rows. they always get you to do it with a single crochet. And that is just to find out what your particular stitch will work up. If you have a tendency of working really tight, you might need to switch to a larger hook for your project. If you work real loose, you might want to switch to a smaller hook to get the right size. Because you don't want, if you don't, it's the gauge. You're checking your gauge. And if you don't do the checking of the gauge, you don't know how it's going to finish. If you don't know your own how tight, or your technique, you've got to learn your own technique before you'll be successful. All right, so we have 2 rows of single crochet. So now we're going to do what's called a half double crochet. Okay. So what you're going to do, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 to turn. We'll turn. Then you're going to yoke around your hook before you go through. Okay, so what that means is you're going to wrap it around so you end up with 2 loops of thread on here. Then you're going to put it into the first stitch. You're going to draw up a loop. So now you have 3 loops. And in half double crochet, you just take and you draw your thread through all 3 loops. That is a half double crochet. So we're going to do that again. I don't know if the focusing is helping or not. So wrap your thread. That's called yoking. Insert it into the next stitch, making sure you've gone under both of the loops. Draw up and then pull your thread through. Half double crochet. Draw up, go under both of them. Draw up. So you have 3 loops. Pull through. Yoke over, through, under both loops, draw up, pull your thread through. That's all half double crochet is. Yoke, insert, yoke, draw through all 3 loops. Okay? Yes. Always check your tension before you start a project. If it's something you're going to wear, especially, or it's something you're making for a gift, you want to know it's going to fit whoever it's for. If you don't check your tension, excuse me, I'm not real tight, but I am consistently not loose, put it. And so I really usually don't have any trouble unless I'm really upset about something and I'm trying to crochet. Never crochet when you're upset. If you're going to crochet when you're upset, you need to do something like this where you're just testing a swatch, just something to relax you. So yoke up, insert your hook, yoke up, pull through. That's all a half double crochet is. You just have to make sure you're going under both of the loops of the previous stitch too. All right. And we got 1 more after this. All right. So now we're at the end. We're going to chain 1 and turn. I don't know. Is the focusing helping or is it just distracting? Because I find it distracting. I think I'm going to turn it back off. I'm sorry. It's very distracting. This is a test for me on how me doing tutorials will work for crochet. I know there's other tutorials out there, but I kind of wanted to cover these 4 stitches with you guys. So I'm going to work another row of the half double crochet. Remember, you don't work in this stitch that's between your hook and the first stitch. You don't work into that. You skip that one and you come back to where you've got the 2 loops at the top of the stitch. So we yode, pull up a loop, draw through all 3 loops. Yoke, insert your hook, draw up, pull all through all 3 loops. Let's see if I can turn where you can see. It's hard to get this up here, but then you draw through these 2 loops. And see from the side, a single crochet is shorter than a half double crochet. All right, let's get to the end. I figured a 12 stitch project would work up quickly, and I could cover all 4 stitches without being on here a real long time. All right, so there you go. This is what our little block is looking like. Yeah, I turned it off, but now I'm afraid you're not going to be able to see, but the lighting keeps shifting. I think it's this yarn. It's got a flake in it, and I think it's affecting the camera as well. All right, so that's 2 rows of single crochet, 2 rows of half double crochet. Now we're going to do a double crochet. And I still just chain 1, turn. Now, with a double crochet, you're going to you're going to insert your hook, you're going to draw up a loop, but now we're not going to go through all 3 loops for a double crochet. You're going to pull through 2. So now you got 2 left on the hook, and then draw through the 2 that are left. That's a double crochet. You're going through 2 and 2. So insert your hook into the top of the next stitch. Draw through 2. You have 2 loops remaining. Draw through those 2. Insert hook in the top of the stitch. Make sure you're under both of them. Up. You have 3. Draw through 2. You have 2. Draw through 2. Insert into the top of the previous stitch. You have 3. Draw through 2. You have 2. And draw through 2. Insert. Draw through 2. Draw through 2. Through the top of the previous stitch. Up 3. Draw through 2. Draw through 2. That's double crochet. There's a fleck there. It was distracting me. So 3, draw through 2. You have 2. Draw through 2. Insert under the loops at the top of the stitch. Draw through 2. Draw through 2. And see, sometimes your yarn will kind of split and you'll get in the wrong place. Just pull your hook out and reinsert it so you're not through the side of the yarn. All right, I'm going to pull some more thread off my ball because I find it easier to do that. So insert your hook in the top, up through 2, through 2. And there's one more there, and it's kind of rolled to the side. So you still have to work it. So you just get under. You don't want to catch the turning chain. You want to get the 2 loops that are at the top of that stitch. Just like that. And then we're going to draw through 2, draw through 2. Chain 1, turn your work. So there we've done a row of the double crochet. All right, we're going to do that again. Up. Remember, skip the turning chain there. All right, go into the top, up, draw through 2 of the loops, and then 2 of the loops. Yo, or loop your yarn, draw through there and up. I didn't know if you wanted me to follow through it or just work it and get to the end. All right, so we've done single crochet, we've done half double crochet, we've done double crochet. What could be next? What could be next? Next, we're going to do treble crochet. And you'll notice a pattern as we're going. Now, the treble crochet, get through there, is a slightly taller stitch. So when we go to turn, we are going to chain 2, just so we have a little bit more height to get to the height of the treble crochet. Because if we only did a chain 1, it would really pull the top of the treble crochet. So if you were doing rows of treble crochet, it would be a little bit hard to find the top of the very last one on the return. So I've chained 2. I'm going to turn my work. So we are going to do a treble crochet now. And what that means is you're going to yo twice before you insert it into your first stitch. So what that means is you're going to wrap it around and wrap it around so you have 3 yos on here. Then you're going to stick it into the top of the previous row stitch, draw up a loop, and then you're going to work your way back through 2 at a time. So you draw your thread through 2 loops, stop, draw through 2 loops, stop, draw through 2 loops. So you do 3 times going back through. So now we're going to yo twice. So you have 3 loops on here. You're going to insert your hook in the top of the previous row stitch at the top, draw up, then draw through 2, 1, 2, 3, hence the triple crochet. So, or treble, either triple or treble. And in the patterns, I believe it's called a treble, T-R-E-B-L-E, but I could be wrong. It's been a while. So go around twice, insert in the top of the stitch where you're going under the both loops, draw up, go through 2, 1, go through 2, 2, go through 3. There we go. And you're going to just do that. And that's all there is to a treble or triple crochet. One, 2, into the top. 1, 2, 3. I just want to also speak about technique, because you will see, if you look up these stitches as tutorials, a single crochet tutorial or a double crochet tutorial or half double, you will see people holding their hooks differently. Some people hold them like I do. Some people hold them with a hook above. You have to find what's comfortable for your hands. Thank you, Vanessa. So you've got to find how you work better. Do you work better holding it like a pencil, or do you work better holding it like this? It's all different technique that's very individual. So if you aren't learning from me, look for somebody that does it in the pencil holding position. I think Mary Lou Auntie Loopy, I think she said she does hers holding it in the pencil. But there are tutorials on YouTube that show people holding their hook a little different than I do. This is just how I hold mine. It's how I learned to hold mine best. That's why sometimes I don't think I'm a very good teacher, because I hold mine slightly different than the majority, I think. But it's all personal choice and what works best for your hands. If you have a condition that makes it hard for you, you might want to look for ergonomical hooks where they have the handle is built up so it's thicker. I have an ergonomical seam ripper. Let me show you what that looks like. They make the crochet hooks that are just like the seam ripper. And I want to share that because I want everybody that wants to learn to crochet to have an opportunity to know about tools that would make it easier. This is an ergonomical seam ripper. It is larger. You don't have to hold it as tight. I have seen them. There's some people on Etsy that have taken crochet hooks like I have here, and they've used really cool polymer clay, and they've covered the hooks and they sell them. So you can get them that are handmade by artists on Etsy. You can also buy them probably on Amazon. I know Joann's has them on their website. I'm not sure if they carry them in store or not. And Michael's, you could probably look and see if they have them. I'm not sure. Or Hobby Lobby. But Etsy's a good place if you want some unique ones. And they are just built up with clay. And so the handle would probably be the same length as my ergonomical seam ripper is. They would put the clay up that far on the crochet hook. I just want to mention that because some people have trouble with the grip, and somebody with larger hands also might benefit for the ergonomical because it's not so that feeling of tightness of having to come down to close. See, my mom can't close that far anymore, and I want to look for some ergonomical hooks for her. So that was just a side note, rabbit trail. Oh, and Vanessa has a tip in the chat. You can use the pencil sleeves on your hooks as well. That is a good tip. So you could just, if you all you have is these, maybe look for the sleeves for pencils and put them on your hooks. All right, so remember the triple crochet is a pretty tall stitch. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, turn our work. And the last thing I'm going to do is one last row of treble crochet. So we're going to yoke twice or wrap around your hook twice. Go into the top of the hook, the stitch of the previous row, draw up a loop. You have 4 loops. Draw through 2, stop, draw through 2, stop, draw through 2, and you're done. So we'll just finish this row out. Go into the top of the previous row. These are a little bit easier to see where the top is. But you'll get to where you recognize the top of a stitch. I always think of the sides where these are called post, the part of your stitch that's here. This is called a post. And sometimes you'll crochet around the post. So that's just a term. So that's a post. And then if you look at the top of the wall, you'll see it looks like little loops. And that's the part you're working under. So that's what the top of the stitch looks like. That's what the side of the stitch looks like. Yarn over. So yarn over. 1, 2, yarn overs. Insert your hook, draw up. So you have 4, go through 2, 1, 2, 2, and through the last 2 makes 3. So yarn over, that is correct. It's yarn over. Sometimes I'll see it as yo. This is yoing, when you're making loops by inserting and pulling, that's a yo. Yo, yo. Yo ho ho. No bottles of rum. It's too early. I don't know. My mind is all over the place this morning. Sorry. 2, 2, and 2. Once you start crocheting and you get the rhythm of a pattern to where the pattern is sticking in your brain, it's very soothing. It's a very soothing, calming activity. It's well worth learning. I find it easier than knitting. Knitting, I feel like I have to concentrate too much instead of just letting my muscle memory do the project and let my mind flow free. My brain can grab onto a crochet pattern and just do it repeatedly. So I can think about other things as I'm working because the muscle memory gets me through. All right, so that's going to be our last stitch that we do together this morning. All right, so that's what it looks like on this side, and that's what it looks like on that side. All right. Hi, Teresa. I just finished a swatch. So if you want to learn these stitches, I would recommend maybe doing a whole square of the same stitch, like do a square of all single crochet. So do, you could do the 12 stitches like we did here, and then just measure to figure out how many rows you need to get to the same length as here, and just do that up through. It doesn't take as long to make a square out of a double or triple crochet, because you see they're a lot taller because we've got 2 rows of single crochet, 2 rows of half double crochet, 2 rows of a double crochet, and 2 rows of a triple crochet. Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. All right. So what did I say for the crochet alongers? Okay. I mentioned this yesterday to give everybody a chance to go ahead and work it up if they want, because today I'm also going to probably do a second video for the crochet along folks of the next stitch. I'm hoping to have a chance to work on that next. I always like to work the stitch I choose onto my project before I share it to make sure that everybody stands a chance of being successful. If it's too difficult, I'll back away from it, but I think the next one will be a lot of fun. So what we are doing for episode, whatever we are on, we're going to add a row of single crochet, a row of half double crochet, a row of double crochet, and a row of triple crochet. And that is all I've done here. So you can see, let me get my fingers are too fat to show. You've got your single crochet attaches to the blue stitches. I want to mention that I had to work 2 together because I ended up with 133 stitches instead of my 132. So I just worked the last 2 together to get me back down to 132. Sorry. 132 stitches. So I did the single crochet. That's the one that's right. You can see its feet. I call those feet, the little V shapes here. That's the bottom of the single crochet. Then I've got my half double crochet, my double crochet, and my triple crochet. And that's all you have to add. And then I'll do the next stitch. I'm going to try and get that back up later today. I will be having a break between crocheting because I watched Janet Nash at 9 o'clock. And I'm looking forward to the next stitch. If it's not up today, it will go up in the morning instead of waiting till Friday, because I feel like we're behind 2 weeks now. So basically you're going to get 3 stitches this week, guys. So bear with me. So do this single, half double, double, treble, and then I will come back with the next stitch, and then on Friday I'll have another stitch. So that's all I had for this morning, and I hope I wasn't on too horribly long, and that those that want to learn the basic stitches, you can slow me down, because I know I talk fast. Slow me down, pause the video. That's the best way to learn, is just to keep pausing the video, back me up if you're not seeing something clearly, listen to my voice. That's what tutorials are all about, is you can slow us down, you can speed us up. If you work faster than we're talking, speed us up. If you need us to slow down, slow us down. That's what the little gear at the bottom of the screen's for. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope this was informational and useful. If you enjoyed learning with me, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. I will say that the chat for viewers is for my subscribers, and I would love to have you as a subscriber. All right. I'll see you at Janet Nash's at 9 o'clock, which is an hour and a half. Have a great Monday, everybody. Bye-bye.